In the shadow of the sacred peak of Mount Kora, nestled among lush forest and serene meadows, lay the village of Agbegidi. It was a quiet, humble place where life followed the rhythms of nature. The villagers, though hardworking and content, held a deep-seated reverence for the mountain that loomed above them, for it was said to be home to a powerful and enigmatic spirit. The tales of this spirit varied. Some spoke of a fearsome creature capable of summoning storms and causing avalanches, while others whispered of an ancient deity whose moods could shape the very land itself. Each year, as the harvest season drew near, a ritual was performed to appease the mountain spirit. The village elders believed that this tradition ensured the prosperity and protection of their crops. This year, however, the ritual took on a more somber tone, for it was the year a bride would be chosen to accompany the spirit. Tradition dictated that one young woman would be selected to live with the spirit and become his bride. It was an honor, though one shrouded in mystery and apprehension. Neka, a young woman of 18, was chosen this year. She was known in the village for her kindness and grace, traits that had endeared her to everyone. Yet, when the announcement was made, a veil of sadness fell over her heart. She was to leave behind her family, her friends, and the only life she had ever known. Despite her fears, Neka embraced her fate with a quiet dignity, hoping that her sacrifice would bring peace to her people. The day of her departure arrived with a sky heavy with clouds, as if the heavens themselves mourned her leaving. The village gathered to bid her farewell, and their faces were a mix of sorrow and reverence. Neka's parents clung to her, their eyes brimming with tears. But she offered them a reassuring smile, promising she would be all right. Guided by the village elders, Neka made her way to the base of the mountain, where the path to the spirit's dwelling began. The journey was arduous, the ascent was steep, and the path was veiled in thick mist. As Neka climbed higher, the forest thinned, and the air grew colder. She could sense the weight of ancient magic around her, an almost palpable energy that seemed to hum with each step. After hours of climbing, Neka reached a secluded plateau where a grand yet solitary palace stood. It was unlike any building she had ever seen, constructed of stones that glowed softly with an ethereal light. The palace was surrounded by gardens filled with flowers that seemed to shimmer in the dim light, their petals emitting a soft, soothing fragrance. Neka took a deep breath and approached the entrance, her heart pounding in her chest. The doors of the palace creaked open as if welcoming her, and Neka stepped inside. The interior was vast and beautifully adorned with tapestries and carvings, depicting scenes of nature and celestial beings. At the center of the grand hall stood the mountain spirit, a tall, regal figure with an aura of deep sadness rather than menace. The spirit's form was both majestic and sorrowful. He had a regal bearing, with long hair that flowed like cascading waterfalls and eyes that seemed to hold the weight of centuries. His presence was imposing yet gentle, and Neka could see that beneath the facade of fearsome tales lay a being who bore the marks of loneliness. "Welcome, Neka," the spirit's voice resonated through the hall, deep and melodic. "I have awaited your arrival for so long." Neka, though apprehensive, met his gaze with curiosity. "I was told you were a fearsome spirit, capable of great destruction. Yet, you seem different." The spirit's eyes softened. "The tales you have heard were crafted to protect the mountain and its secrets. In truth, I am bound to this place, waiting for a companion who might understand the solitude of my existence." Neka and Agus spent their days exploring the palace's gardens, where the flora and fauna were imbued with magic. They talked about their lives, their hopes, and their dreams. Agus revealed that he had once been a mortal, a guardian of the mountain who was transformed into a spirit by a powerful enchantment meant to preserve the balance of nature. Over the centuries, he had seen countless generations of villagers come and go, yet none had stayed long enough to truly understand him. In time, Neka and Agus' bond deepened. They shared not just companionship but a profound connection that transcended the bounds of mortal and spirit. Necker learned that the spirit's loneliness was not merely a result of his isolation but also the burden of watching over a land that had changed drastically over the ages. His heart ached for a connection that went beyond the rituals and the fearful whispers of the villagers. Their love grew, and the palace, once a place of solitude, became a haven of warmth and joy. The once dreaded spirit was no longer a figure of fear but a cherished companion. Necker's presence brought a new light to Ague's existence, and in return, Agues offered Necker a life of enchantment and serenity. As seasons passed, the villagers noticed a change in the mountain. The crops thrived more than ever before, and the land seemed to flourish with an unusual vigor. The once feared spirit was now seen as a benevolent force, his actions a reflection of the harmony that had been restored between him and Necker. Necker's sacrifice, once seen as a burden, had brought about a profound transformation, not just for the spirit but for the entire land. Her story became one of legend, not a tale of fear, but a testament to the power of understanding and love. The mountain spirit's bride had not only found a place in the heart of a lonely soul but had also bridged the gap between two worlds, bringing peace and prosperity to all who lived beneath the shadow of Mount Kora.